Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from September 30th, where the weekly focus was, it was my last week to hit those October 5th goals. And the weekly highlight was the double twisting, double layout onto the resi. The weekly low was me breaking both ankles on floor. You'll see that at the end of the video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Misha and obviously I love gymnastics. So here you can see like a video diary I've been keeping for the last 4 years or so with virtually every single turn I've taken on the equipment. So October 5th goals, after 1 week, remember it was only a little 2-week cycle, I had only checked off 3 goals. Now a lot of these goals, they weren't too drastic. For example, like a handspring front on vault, all I had to do was just go and do it. Like the Magyar, I just had to do it, but most of these were like my first time doing it post-operation, and which, by the way, it's been now 11 months almost to the day since surgery, and it's all coming together, fam. It's all coming together. You'll see in the next few weeks I've started Coleman's again. I feel like I'm gonna catch them pretty soon, but this particular week I think I was mostly focused on the stoop half and the Gatson. So there's a lot happening in this video. I was also gonna do the giant on P-bar at the end of the week, so you see me prepping my shoulder, doing some swings with some ankle weights, and I was gonna save it till after floor on the Saturday, but after rolling both my ankles I had to stop there, and a lot of you saw me in a moon boot walking around coaching at nationals. So yeah, there was all sorts of confusion. Luckily I didn't break my finger there too, but that was a close call. Yeah, there was a lot of confusion around the ankle. First the right one was broken, the left one was sprained, then it's just like a little bone chip. Then long story short, I got like 3 different stories, but at this stage my right ankle, which was said to be broken, actually feels almost back to normal. The left one is still a bit swollen, so I'm working on getting the swelling back down, and you will see the turn that happened on right at the end of this video. But Wednesday, the day of miracle, man, like, surprise isn't even enough to describe what I experienced on Wednesday. So I had something on Tuesday, like this was about a month ago, so I don't really remember what happened, but I ended up training on Wednesday. And after this turn here, I quickly understood, wow, I could actually land this. And then 2 turns later, I was like, man, you should have done it. You should have done it. That was good enough. Done. 2 turns later, I landed a double twist and double back layout. I couldn't believe myself. Those who've been around me since my junior days, my late teens, my early 20s, like at Ohio State, for instance, they know pretty well that I was never a double somersault twister on floor, especially backwards. I had no sense of being able to spread my twisting how I wanted throughout 2 flips. I was much better at, like, say, rings, where it was like a back flip and then a back double twist. I was able to split it up like that from rings and high bar, but on floor where you had that additional half a somersault, I could never split it the way that I wanted to. It was always really awkward for me. Some pretty decent stoop halves there, but the goal was handstand with legs together. Man, I worked so hard on the stoops this week. So stoops is one of those things where I'm quite careful not to do too many, because it is a big force impact on the lower back. The other one was double back opened, meaning not grabbing my legs with the chest up. I got close. I did a couple to pretty much chest horizontal this week, but like if you look there, you'll see my back is exactly horizontal as I landed, but the goal is, of course, chest above horizontal, so not quite. Thursday was triple back day. This was another one of those goals, like all I had to do was just try one. I've done this in the past. I've competed this, so I knew that, well, ideally the muscle memory was still there. So I did one to feel the waters and then did another one. So that was no problem at all. If I do use the triple back, I am gonna have to learn it without cowboying. Historically, I've had a massive cowboy in the triple back, and of course, that's like a 0.3 or maybe even a 0.5 deduction. I'll have to check. Flares, I was shooting for 5. Flares, I was shooting for 5. Pommel horse, no matter what the goal is, pommel horse is always tough. The one thing with pommel horse, you can kind of take more turns because the only things that get fatigued is the wrists. Though, you know, my shoulder does kind of tick. I was more happy about that than I was doing the triple back. Not as wide as I want, but good enough for the tick. But the leg amplitude still has a long way to go on pommel horse. I guess it's worth to talk about Singapore. I had an amazing time in Singapore. I did manage to get 3 sessions in, and again, to my surprise, I caught a pagan. So Singapore is like 30 degrees Celsius plus, but it's really humid, so it feels closer to 40. And my body felt amazing. I had almost no shoulder pain swinging bar, and that's exactly why I did my first Coleman, not catch, but did the first Coleman post-surgery in that nice and warm Singapore gym in the Bishan Sports Hall. This was the day I finally decided to do a little bit of vault. Again, one of those goals, no problem at all. But once again, thank you so much to Coach Rio and Coach Park, who let me come and train with the boys and use the equipment. Is amazing to see the high quality of junior gymnastics in Bishan Sports Hall, and I hope they don't copy my bad example there of throwing fits when things don't go your way. I did catch the Gatson this day. I think it was got the Gatson, and it took a long time, so had to persevere for quite a lot with that one. The next step is going to be to get it more consistent, and then of course you got to do it from the Healy. You can't just do a Gatson by itself. That was probably the closest one to having chest above horizontal, but all of these, like, it's as close as it gets. That was probably the closest one. And then an ankle cruncher, foreshadowing for what was to happen on Saturday. Yeah, so Singapore is amazing. Pretty much most of what I did was just Gaylords on high bar. I did do a little bit of P-bars work, some conditioning, but obviously couldn't do much tumbling because my ankle was ruined. I decided to give that double twist punch front tuck the tick, though I think it could have used more height. I felt really good when I did it. I felt like I could have comfortably made around the double flip. You know, maybe even to land into like a low squat landing. So because I had that sense, I thought that I would tick it off, and that was pretty much the ideal double twist punch front, minus a little bit more height. Pagans are popping off. The pagan I did in Singapore, the second one especially, was really close to like my best one. I just had a little leg separation, but the extension, the kick out was as good as I've ever done. And that was probably as good of a stoop half as I've ever done. That's gotta be my best. Minimum skewage, the angle was close to handstand. I undercooked a few, which was new to me. But that was the one. So you can see I'm quite disappointed there because I knew that that was the perfect one that would have gone to handstand. But that left arm, I think I didn't put my hand properly, so I ended up collapsing. So it's as close as it gets. After this point, I was pretty much beating a dead horse. I wanted it so bad, but I think I had exceeded the numbers for that day. Things were just moving backwards. So no cigar on the stoop half, but gotta be happy with how close I got, and from here on out I'm gonna continue pursuing it. and hopefully in the next few weeks, months, it starts to get a bit more consistent.
Game over.
Game over. So as you see me dealing with rolling both my ankles there, let's see what we actually managed to get in terms of goals. So there's a few missing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 goals missing. The Azarian, I think, was a stretch, and I'm gonna have to rework that goal to measuring a bungee. There's the fam checking up on me. I ended up limping to the to get my stuff, and they did give me a moon boot and some crutches at the A&E, and I actually put the moon boot on my other foot. Again, don't get me started on what happened at the A&E. That was just ridiculous. But some of the goals were, like the triple back, Pagan, Gatson, Kovacs. I was really excited about those goals, really big milestones in coming back from surgery. The double twist and double back layout was a dream, and I wasn't even serious. Like, that goal was a joke. That goal was a joke when I said it. So the fact that I did it, you can always surprise yourself. Never get discouraged, and always try, because you never know what you might be able to do. So anyway, thank you to all the patrons. Thank you for watching this far in. I will put all of my Singapore training up on the Patreon. There wasn't too much, but and I'll continue working on building the content for there as well. Thank you to everybody that's stuck around, and yeah, till next time.